This is the continual evolution of the East Coast beat. At my age, life is an adventure. I could slip and fall and go from where I'm at to even worse. I live upstairs, so I have to walk downstairs every day. Life is an adventure. I can't jump over puddles now because I have to walk through them. I can't run out of the way of an oncoming bus. If he doesn't stop, I'm gonna get hit. You know what I'm saying? So I have to. Now it's more, and I never was good at that video game Frogger. I couldn't get the frog across the road without getting hit, and I definitely couldn't get it on the logs. So, um, but yeah, like I said, life is an adventure. I find myself falling into things. Luckily, I think at my apartment I'm just a little bit lazier. You know what I'm saying? Plus, Mermaid is always at my feet. So like I'm turning around too quick a lot, and I'm like, find myself leaning on a wind on the door or something, or leaning up against some furniture, Um, and but then when I'm out in public, I just pay more attention to it. I think that's the thing is when I'm here, I go to the extremes because I feel safe in here. So how far can I start falling before I actually fall? Whereas when I'm in public, the I get on a bus, so I have to make sure that I can make it to my seat before the bus driver jerks off and I fall down, you know what I'm saying? I'm at that point in my life right now where it's like I got nerve damage in my hand. I guess they say I know I've got pinched nerves in my neck that I can't open up my left hand, and I've got pinched nerve in my lower spine, and my left leg is dead. So like the left part of my body are just dead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can still use my hand. I can still button buttons. I can still do things, but like I'm limited, and I got this uh, little hacky sack, and I'm using it as a hand strengthener. My friend gave me a ball, but I keep the ball at the apartment, and this is the one I'll take out with me. It's a little bit smaller, but hey, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, life is an adventure, and part of that adventure is that when I see younger people going through hard situations, I do not feel the depth that I felt when I was that age, but I have an understanding. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can see why you're completely in a devastated mood right now and why, you can't see a way out. I mean, I understand, I even feel those to that day, but not like I know when I was younger, I used to feel it was more extreme. I mean, like extreme, you know. So for the younger people out there, the 20, 25 year olds that are, finding out that they have drug and alcohol, is problems. It's like, oh, I didn't know that it'd be this way. I mean, some people, they can drink and they can drink for 10, 20 years, maybe get one DUI, and they got lucky that night because it was the night they only had two pitchers of beer instead of, and but there's some people, I don't know what it is, but you'll get pulled over 3 times in a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, I haven't seen a police in 7 years. And it's like, yeah, because that's just the way that life is. Like I said, when I lived in this town in Colorado, I lived in that town in Colorado, and I think I saw the police like you might, unless you were actually downtown at the police department, driving by the police department, but like on the streets and all that, and like all that other stuff, or I mean, I don't really remember seeing them. Even in the neighboring communities, it's like they're not cruising downtown because there's a lot of nefarious stuff going on. This is back in the 90s. I don't know how it is now. But the little local towns used to keep their towns clean, and so when I moved to a small town, I had a unique situation because I could reinvent myself, which I did. But like I said, I had heard of Buddhist and Taoist teachings and things like that. Or I definitely heard of Buddhist teachings. I don't know if I had heard too much of Taoism at that point. But I had heard of Buddhism, and I had heard that, if you want to not, if you suffer, it's because you want it. You suffer for what you want that you don't have. If you're willing to suffer to get it and you get it, no problem. If you're willing to suffer for something and you don't get it, and then you don't lose your mind over it or break the rules for it, you know what I'm saying? And then okay, that's cool. So sometimes if you suffer for something, you get it. Sometimes if you suffer for something, you don't. And then you pine for it, you know. But it's all in how you handle it. Are you willing to suffer for something? Is it worth it in the end? And at my age, like I said, when I hear younger people, when I hear of younger people and the struggles that they have, I still feel, I still understand the pain. I mean, I can at least imagine it. I can't say I can remember it, but I can imagine it, and I know I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? And but as I get older, luckily, like I said, I'm in the housing program. I volunteer with the Department of Behavioral Health. I don't get caught shoplifting. I don't shoplift. I don't graffiti. I don't sell drugs. I don't rent out my room. I don't break the rules. So, I still feel nervous a lot, about the world, but I do my part. And now that I'm at, half crippled vet, I can't. Like if something really goes down, and you need a field soldier, I can't help you out with that. I can't enforce the peace right now, and because the minute someone goes against my bearing, what do I got? You know what I'm saying? So, turn your swords into a plowshare, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still thinking to myself, okay, but like I said, at my age, as a veteran, to just still have what I have and to be able to wake up and look at the mountains and to take the bus, to where I volunteer at. And, well, shoot, one of these days we're going to have that grilled cheese and tomato soup, lunch that they keep promising us, you know what I'm saying? And, what do I do? Like I said, I work on my anchor. I don't know. I've always thought I've been good with it, but then, like I said, I know, as they say, I know it can get the best of a situation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, that's why I don't drink though, because when I drink, if someone's been, trying to have beef with me, if they've been trying to if they've disrespected me in some way, where I thought they were thinking, you know, if I thought that there was a chance that it would happen again and we got drunk, there might be a chance that something would happen. And if it didn't, it didn't. But I realized that alcohol for me was my way of, like, When I was in the army, I drank so much that I blacked out. Now, I know I blacked out because at one point I woke up laying on my back on a bench and I said, "Hey, where are we?" And they said, "We're here." And I said, "Well, how far was it from when we left to this one place?" And they're like, "Oh man, that was like, less than a mile, almost a mile." And I was like, "I don't remember how long's it been? 15 minutes." So I know for that night, for at one point, for at least a 15-minute walk and me waking up on a bench, I don't remember anything. So I don't remember, I don't know how stable my memory was that night. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was alcohol for me. And then I found out that alcohol kind of is in the family blood. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? So after I got out of the army, I stopped drinking alcohol. And I don't miss it. I mean, I miss the camaraderie of drinking with my buddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we'd be in some city full of a bunch of Germans, and I took German in high school. He took French. So whenever, we'd be out, I would use my German. I remember one time me and my buddy Rain, we went out on the weekend and we went to this salad bar, you know, and it was very nice. It was a very modern. It was a modern. It was in a modern, like almost all glass building. There was a lot of glass, and my German teacher, the older woman that I had, I can't remember her name, but she taught in Colorado. She told me that if you walk up to if there's a table, like if there's a table for four and someone's sitting there and you want to, you can ask, "Is tier fry? Is it free? Is it free to sit here?" And if they say yes, you can sit down. So, and I said both my German teachers were just flirts, were just horrible flirts. You know what I'm saying? And so we go to the salad bar, and I mean, I loved salad at the time when for a while when I lived in Colorado. They had a salad bar at the market that we would go to, and my aunt would let me make whatever. And I mean, I was putting olives, feta cheese, alfalfa sprouts, and so we're in Germany, and I find the salad bar. My Hungarian little girlfriend took me there, so I take Rain there, and I asked this German girl, "Is tier fry?" And it's like there's empty tables, there's tables on the other side of the restaurant. But she was about the same age, so I said, "Is tier fry?" So we sat down and we're eating, and Rain and I are speaking in English, and I was like, "So what do you want to do next?" You know what I'm saying? What do you want to do? Between now, because usually we would just go to the soldiers clubs. You know what I'm saying? Me and Rain, that was our usual thing. I liked it. I mean, like I said, I was a soldier in Germany. Why wouldn't I want to go to a soldiers bar? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, support the team. You know what I'm saying? So, but and then I looked over and I asked the girl, "Is there um, anything happening, you know, in the next couple hours between now and tonight, 10 o'clock?" I think I said. Is there something going on? Is there a market? Is there I can't remember, plots on fair? Stuff like that. Um, um, and she's like, "No, no." So because sometimes they would set up on different the one I would go to, there was another one that my Hungarian friend told me about that I found that but the one I found on my own was actually downtown on this bridge, and they would sell kind of like handmade purses, and but they were all in like Indian or gypsy kind of style, you know what I'm saying? Handmade jewelry, stuff like that. Or, some of it was, of course, made with the assistance of machines. But, depending on how much you wanted to spend, and it was all trinket jewelry. Like I said, Germany, you had a 5 mark piece, which was $3 US. And 5 mark piece could get you something to eat, a drink, a pack of smokes. So, you know what I'm saying? And you could get jewelry for 2, 3 marks, 6 marks, you know what I'm saying? And I had hoops for my ears. I had other jewelry. I got my nipple pierced. I pierced my own nipple. My one day my buddy Rain he's all like, he lifts up his shirt, and I was like, shit. So I fucking went out and pierced my nipple that like within 3 days, bro. By that Friday night I had my nipple pierced, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what you gonna do, And what you gonna do with yourself when you're 19, 20 years old, and I remember Rain's girl Diana. One time she told me, "I really like the color of Rain's skin because it reminds me of chocolate." Rain was an Indian from Oregon, the Willamette Valley. I forget the name, Wisconsin. I can't remember the name of the tribe, but he was from Oregon, and he was darker than I am. And she's all, "Oh, it reminds me of chocolate, his skin." And so Rain, we went out, got tattoos um, at a tattoo party. This like redheaded Russian gypsy girl shows up, and there was like 5, 6, 7 guys that wanted to get tattoos, and I was like the third or fourth guy, and she's like, "After you, that's it." She's like, that's already been 5, 6 hours." She's like, "That's enough, I'm done." So luckily I got a tattoo on my chest, my first little chest piece, and the first part of my chest piece, I guess, because years later my other partner added on. um, but yeah. And Rain, I remember when Rain had a tattoo of Scooby smoking smoking a joint, smoking a doobie, Scooby smoking a doobie. I was like, oh my god. Like I said, it was fun. So after I got out of the army, I stopped drinking. I mean, not to put anybody down in San Bernardino and stuff, but and I don't feel like drinking with the police. You know what I'm saying? But there's a certain, when you know that, when you know, okay, when you do a job and if you do it wrong, that means that you or somebody else could possibly die. There's a different way of looking at like time off, and hey, let's go. What do you want to do during your time off? You know what I'm saying? How do you want to relax? I mean, like, we could get, by the time we make it back to the base, we could be called to go anywhere in the world, and, maybe never come back, or come back missing an arm or a leg or half a face, or, you know what I'm saying, blinded, or, all these things that soldiers do. So, what do two 19-year-olds, and what do you guys want to do with your money on the weekend? You know? And that's how Rain and I, spent our time. Uh, we ate cheese, we watched movies, we went to clubs, we went to discos. We went to, independent surfboard stores. That's where I bought, half my gear was, walking around the city with rain. It's like we're 19, 20 years old with $500 in our pocket. What do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Let's just walk around, you know. So, we just walked around and then found what we were finding. Then we'd eat. And like I said, then when the night would come, we'd go out to the soldiers' clubs. And then I'd find a girl or he'd find a girl and then, that's how it was. And like I said, me and Rain have walked, from downtown this to, and we've been to more than one city together. And like I said, his girl spoke German. So I'd love to go. I love going places with her. I'd be like, come on, man, let's all go. You know what I'm saying? Bring her along, bro. What you want to do? Meet another girl. It's like, how many do you got to go through? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's bring someone that speaks the language that will guarantee us a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, for sure. But like I said, but all that was because when I was in the third grade, we were reading a textbook, and it was telling us what there was in the United States of America. There was the poor, the rich, there was middle class. There was and then it said there were the disabled. There were this, and in my head I heard the word disabled veteran, and that's what I became. It told me that's what you will be. So, like I said, even now that I can't use half of my body. Like I can't do side kicks. I can't sweep somebody's legs out without falling to the ground with them. Like, I'm no longer, like I said, I left the army. When they asked me if I wanted to re-enlist, I left the army because I knew I couldn't do the job of a field soldier. Same thing. At this point in my life, like I said, one time me and my friend were sitting on a bus and some guy was trying to talk to some girl, and the bus driver was talking to the guy, and I was like, look, I can't do shit that this 35-year-old female bus driver can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if that's going to make you not want to sit next to me and go get a donut, what can I say? I'd rather right now. You know what I'm saying? I got to be defensive for a while and if I somehow miraculously heal, that's a different story. But right now it's like, hey, I spent my whole life playing defense on the line. Now I got to stand back and let the line take care of me. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. What can I possibly say? And do I feel guilt about that? No. Why would I? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I was 17 years old, they called my mom and dad from Florida. Hey, your son wants to join the army. Is that okay? Yeah, sure. If that's what he wants, you know what I'm saying? So when I was 18 years old, I was in basic training. I was 18 years old in my first unit. I was 19 years old in the desert. I was divorced at 19. I mean, like, those years were some quick years in my life. A lot of miles underneath my wings, and a lot of things that happened. A lot of things that were once in a lifetime, possibly, and definitely life event, changing events. And and my mind was I was half asleep because it was a dream. And then when it didn't, when it started slowly turning more into a nightmare, um, that's when I realized that my mind was on fire. And that's when I would, that's why I liked to drink back then, Southern Comfort and Jack, because it would burn my body the way that my mind would burn. So I would just burn all night. Why not burn all night with the French girl? Burn all night, just talking to my Hungarian friends, Why not burn all night? Like I said, no sleep for the wicked. And, we sleep when we die. That's how I lived for a while. Maybe that's why I have so many grays. Maybe that's why I'm half crippled. Maybe that's why I don't really feel the need to be at a club at 51 years old. I don't need to be at a club anymore. Not to say that I don't think that I wouldn't have a good time, but that was what I did when I was a certain age. What can I do now? Now I can sit at home, pet my dog, make sure she's got a treat and her water bowl is full. And, you know, like I said, when I hear stories about other people, I may not feel that emotion fully, but I know that I felt an emotion when I was in the same kind of experience. So at my age, I can begin to feel it without hating the fact that I'm being overrun by it and it's not mine. Why do I feel bad for somebody else? Why do I feel, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, okay, you feel bad because you feel it for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that does not, okay, keep on trucking. You know what I'm saying? Feel it, know it, yay, world is a fucking, trials and tribulations, and I'm banging on the gates with my, tin cup, yelling more lemonade or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Turn the heat up, it's freezing in here, you know what I'm saying? But that's just the way life is. Um, if you hear the whisper, I I tend to follow the whisper. I tend to follow the voice. I tend to follow the breeze. I tend to follow. If I see it written in a certain way, oh, that's the way that it's written to me. You know what I'm saying? So, what can I say? Uh, it is. It's taken me halfway around the world and back again half a dozen times. The breeze and the whispers in the breeze.